ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो अमृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुभाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नदीनदेभ्यो आचार्येभ्यो तीर्थेभ्यो साधकेभ्यो साधुभ्यो क्षेत्रेभ्यो शास्त्रेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम श्री परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय सुगब्रह्मर्षये सूतमहामुनये शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो मत्स्याद्यवतारेभ्यो दक्षिणामूर्तिदत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। ओं श्रीमाता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। आद्य शंकराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओं श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिः हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। श्री भगवानुवाच। Let us chant verse number 26 onwards. We will do from 26 Parayanam as we are doing every day. Maybe we are walking slow, maybe we are very low at our intellectual understanding level. Maybe we are not so much committed for our sadhana, but we are humble, we are sincere, we are serious with all our limitations, opportunities, abilities. Let us have the faith that these are the qualities. If we have, it may invoke the Kripa Paramatma. When His Kripa starts happening, definitely these simple talents which we have, with that when we start doing sadhana, His Kripa will lift us up for the higher, greater, deeper studies, understandings, knowledges, sadhanas, and also the experiences. So let us simply offer at the feet of the Lord our this Parayanam of the Bhagavata Mahapuranam. Let us chant from verse number 26th. Om Om Shri Bhagavanuvāca. Om Padmam Ashtadalam Tatra Karnika Kesarojjvalam Ubhabhyam Vedatantrabhyam Mahyam Tobhaya Siddhaye Sudarshanam Panchajanyam Gadasishu Dhanurhalan Musalam Kaustubham Malam Shrivatsam Chanu Pujayed नन्दं सुनन्दं गरुडं प्रचण्डं चण्डमेव च महाबलं बलं चैव कुमुदं कुमुदेक्षणं दुर्गां विनायकं व्यासं विश्वक्सेनं गुरून् सुरान् स्वे स्वे स्थाने तु अभिमुखान् पूजयेत् प्रोक्षणादिभिः चन्दनोशीरकर्पूर कुङ्कुमा गुरुवासितैः सलिलैः स्नापयेन्मन्त्रैः नित्यदा विभवे सति स्वर्णघर्मानुवाकेन महापुरुषविद्यया पौरुषेणापि सूक्तेन सामभिराजनादिभिः वस्त्रोपवीताभरण स्पत्रस्रगन्धलेपनैः अलङ्कुर्वीत स प्रेमः मद्भक्तो मां यथोचितं पाद्यम् आचमनीयं च गन्धं सुमनसोक्षतान् धूपदीपोपहार्याणि दद्यान्मे श्रद्धयार्चकः गुडपायस सर्पींषि षष्कुल्यापूपमोदकान् संयावदधिसूपांश्च नैवेद्यं सति कल्पयेत् अभ्यङ्गोन्मर्दनादर्श दन्तधावाभिषेचनम् अन्नाद्यगीतनृत्यादि पर्वणि स्युतान्वहं विधिना विहिते कुण्डे मेखलागर्तवेदिभिः अग्निम् आधाय परितः समूहेत् पाणिनोदितम् परिस्तीर्याथ पर्युक्षेत् अन्वाधाय यथा विधे प्रोक्षण्यासाद्य द्रव्याणि प्रोक्ष्याग्नौ भावयेत माम तप्तजाम्बोनदप्रख्यं शङ्खचक्रगदाम्बुजैः लसच्चतुर्भुजं शान्तं पद्मकिञ्जल्कवाससं स्फुरत्किरीटकटक कटिसूत्रवराङ्गदं श्रीवत्सलवक्षसं भ्राजत कौस्तुभं वनमालिनं ध्यायन्नभ्यर्च्य दारूणि हविषाभिघृतानि च प्रास्य आज्यभागावाघारौ दत्त्वा चाज्यप्लुतं हविः जुह्यातमूलमन्त्रेण षोडशर्चावदानतः धर्मादिभ्यो यथा न्यायं मन्त्रैः शिष्टकृतं बुधः अभ्यर्च्याथ नमस्कृत्य पार्षदेभ्यो बलिं हरेद मूलमन्त्रं जपेत् ब्रह्म स्मरन्नारायणात्मकं दत्त्वा च मनमुच्छेषं विश्वक्सेनाय कल्पयेद मुखवासं सुरभिमत ताम्बूलाद्यमथार्हयेत् उपगायन् गृणन् नृत्यन् कर्माण्यभिनयन् मम मत्कथाः श्रावयन् शृण्वन् मुहूर्तं क्षणिको भवेत् स्तवैरुच्चावचैः स्तोत्रैः पौराणैः प्राकृतैरपि स्तुत्वा प्रसीद भगवन् इति वन्दे तदण्डवतो शिरोमत्पादयोः कृत्वा बाहुभ्यां च परस्परं प्रपन्नं पाहि माम् ईशा भीतं मृत्युग्रहार्णवाद इति शेषां मया दत्तां शिरस्यादाय सादरम् उद्वासयेच्छेदुद्वास्यं ज्योतिर्ज्योतिषि तत्पुनः अर्चादिषु यदा यत्र श्रद्धा मां तत्र चार्चयेत् सर्वभूतेष्वात्मनि च सर्वात्माहमवस्थितः एवं क्रियायोगपथैः पुमान् वैदिकतान्त्रिकैः अर्चन् उभयतः सिद्धिं मत्तो विन्दति अभीप्सिताम् मदर्चां सम्प्रतिष्ठाप्य मन्दिरं कारयेत् दृढम् पुष्पोद्यानानि रम्याणि पूजायात्रोत्सवाश्रितान् पूजादीनां प्रवाहार्थं महापर्वस्वथान्वहं क्षेत्रापणपुरग्रामान् दत्त्वा मत्सार्ष्टितामियात् प्रतिष्ठया सार्वभौमं सद्मना भुवनत्रयं पूजादिना ब्रह्मलोकं त्रिभिर्मत्साम्यतां यात् माम् एव नैरपेक्षेण भक्तियोगेन विन्दते भक्तियोगं स लभते एवं यः पूजयेत माम यः स्वदत्तां परैर्दत्तां हरेत सुरविप्रयोः वृत्तिं सजायते विड्भुग वर्षाणाम् अयुतायुधं कर्तुश्च सारथेर्हेतोः अनुमोदितुरेव च कर्मणां भागिनः प्रेत्या भूयो भूयसि तत्फलम् इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूत शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यास शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अतिथितीर्षदगुह्यं तं व्याससूनम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्त्ययं रसः, अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चत कर्हिचिता। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणो अथ एकादशस्कन्धः। मुक्तिः त्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थिते। अथ सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। Having saluted entire Bhagavatacharyas, Avataras, Bhaktas, and also the Rishimuni Devata, Guru Parampara, and our own Guru Parampara, our own Swaguru, as well as Gotra Rishis. Always, all are there. Blessings are required. They are all always there in this universe, coming and blessing whoever are invoking their blessings through these faiths, these remembrances, and these prayers. The more we intensely with this Shraddha pray, the more quickly we can see their grace coming in our life, and thus removing all those misunderstandings, cobwebs of Rajas Tamas, filling our hearts with a Shuddha Sattva Guna, to understand that Bhagavan alone is the ultimate goal, to understand the means for that, and to reach out it. Now we are in this 27th chapter of Bhagavata Puranam, 11th Skandham. Bhagavan Krishna is asked by Uddhavji about the Kriya Yoga, all the techniques and steps involved to do the Archana, by which the Aradhana, the pleasing of Lord is done, with which the Karma Bandha Vimokshana happens, as well as Muhu Param Nishreyasam, or the ultimate truth we reach to. The two things in which what we have to understand are, first, the presence of Bhagavan has to be accepted. Second is, His grace alone will free us from all bondages and limitations. This should be heard, contemplated, and accepted. Third, His grace and blessings come when He is pleased. It should be understood and accepted. Then the whole life has to be dedicated only to please Him. That we have to understand, accept, and to offer our entire life as an offering to Him. Somewhere we have to start, and that starting practice is called as all these upasanas. We have to understand and accept, and all these upasanas have again the steps that are involved in that to be practiced. It is the external, the kriya steps, but along with that practicing of each of the kriya, we to make that kriyas or the practices fruitful or successful or correct or perfect, we also must know, more important than the outer dravya, the outer kriyas are the inner preparations of the mana and buddhi with their bhakti and shraddha, along with the deep faith in the Lord and deep request from the Lord to remove these curtains of Maya. All that put together is called as upasana, and only when we that way involve in Bhagavan, not only we reach nearer and nearer to Paramatma, who is absolute perfect truth, while doing so, while nearing the Paramatma, through our manabuddhi, through our, all the karma kanda or upasana, we are keeping away, we are keep moving away from this illusory, delusory, both the world of names and forms, and also my own Dehendriya Manabuddhyadi. If this is not done, we are under the clutches of the Maya. What the Maya does is, first it conceals the Paramatma in theory, in practice, and in experience from us. Second, it projects the non existing world, non existing all faculties, and it makes us get identified with the faculties, and it makes us believe the world to be real. After that, it makes us have all the disturbing pairs of opposite thoughts in our antakarana called as ragadveshadi. Then it pushes into the world, pushes us into the world to perform various activities, various ways of involvements. This is how we get bound up. And this total topic has its relation with what we studied in the earlier portion, especially when that Pururava was talking towards the end. The what Pururava spoke toward the end and what Bhagavan spoke throughout his teachings to Uddhava, in which he spoke about the Mahima of Satsanga and what is taught here in 27th chapter. If these three things integratedly, collectively, we can if we can understand, we are doing a great deal of good to ourselves in protecting ourselves from samsara and going toward the mukti. So what is said there? Ki adrushta srutat bhavat na bhava upajayate. Is it not? And also Vishayendriya Samyogat Manah Kshubhyati Na Anyatha. And also what was the third thing that was told? Asampranjata Pranan Shamyati Stimitam Manaha. So Vishaya Indriya Samyoga leads to the Manakshobha. Also, Adrushta Shruta Bhava will not create any bhava in us of kamana. Only Drushta Shruta Bhava create the mana kamana. Third, only when through karmendriyas, etc., we involve in the activities, that means involve our prana kriya in that, then only the mana becomes astimita. So when we don't involve our pranas, means activities or karmendriya, jnanendriya in the world, then mana becomes timitam, mana becomes shamyati. So too, when if the bhava should not come in our heart, bhava means all types of negative thoughts, our ears and our eyes should be refrained from entering into it. So to Vishayendra Samyoga we have to avoid for avoiding the Manah Kshobha. How to achieve all of them? Bhagavan said through Satsanga. What Satsanga does in short is gives us the understanding about presence of Paramatma. Satsanga tells us about the Mukti Marga to be the blessings of Bhagavan, and that is done through Upasana. Having understood this, in this now latest chapter, we are shown by Krishna Bhagavan himself on the question of Uddhavji that how we avoid all these three things which are said by Ururava in that chapter towards his speech, end of his speech. So, how to avoid darshanam, shravanam of the outer bhava? Only by using our darshana indriya, shravana indriya, only for that Paramatma. When it is used, when these faculties are used for him, the bhava, the desires will not come. In the same way, when all our prana shaktis are utilized in worship the Lord through both these Vaidika and Tantrika Padhati, these prana shaktis are not misused in working through the faculties. And also, there is no Vishayas towards which the Indriyas are going and having some yoga because Indriyas are fully involved in the Upasana Paramatma. In between stage of using all faculties in worshipping the Lord is required till the Paramatma is understood and experienced by us. When in his certainty the Bhagavan is experienced, when we look back, luckily at that time, the Indriyas, the faculties, their kalpana of the non-existing Jagat of Rupanama with all its beauties, followed by all the projections in the mind, all that goes in. It's just like when you see a movie, some scenes you like, some scenes we don't like. Then, whatever the things we like, we want to see it again and again, or we want to have those things again and again. And whatever the scenes are things which you don't like, where the hero is beaten by the villain, etc., or the hero dies at the end of the movie, we just feel like let the movie be not like that, he should have not died, etc. Now, in our mind, all these kalpanas are happening. Why? Because we took the cinema to be real. Or whenever we take the cinema to be real, then only these type of thoughts come. But the one who knows the cinema to be unreal, absolutely, he will not use his mind's ability of projection for all these unwanted things, all these impossible things. Because remember, if you edit the movie this way according to your choice, then another edition the mind will project it to have. Thereafter, another edition. There is an endless thing to that. This is called as samsara. How to avoid that? Only one thing, Baba. Please accept that it is a movie played on the screen which is actually non existing. In the same way, when we reach out to the Paramatma through various Adhyatmika sadhanas, of them one thing told here is about the Upasana Paddhatis. From there, when we look back, we know everything is unreal. When it is unreal, then we don't try to improve upon it, we don't try to change it because we know it is not at all really existing. Unless, remember, we discover the reality called as Paramatma, unless from the reality standpoint we discover all the worlds of names and forms are only like a moving movie or the real or only projection, our struggle to change the world, improve the world, obtain the world, keep away from the world, it will not stop. And our struggle to obtain the world, keep away from the world, changing the world, improving the world is an endless show. This is called as samsara. Why is it samsara? Because you are trying to obtain that, achieve that, change that, improve that, which is not real. This is the highest wisdom we have to have. Till that time, our struggles never end in the life. And does it happen overnight? All this maturity? Overnight it won't happen, but it will never happen also if we never start. So we start slowly listening to Shastra, we start slowly using our intellect to understand, we start slowly using our faculties to do the required upasanas or whatever the sadhanas recommended. Slowly we start evolving in visualizing the absolute truth. As we saw in our morning Telugu text of Druk Drishya Vivekam also, that through the Vidya, unless the avidya goes away, the Avarana Bhanga will not happen. Till the Avarana Bhanga happens, the Vikshepa will not stop. When the Vikshepa doesn't stop, the projected world always will trouble us by appearing in front of us as if it is real. At the highest intellectual maturity level of apprehending the truth as it is alone, the very powerful mind with its projecting abilities, the sense organs with their ability to get attracted, cannot be curbed or curtailed. The mind will go on projecting, the senses will go on demanding, and will go on involving in the unwanted, unnecessary pravrutti of doing something, waiting for something, getting that, and thinking that really we got it. Samsara continues. Why all this much introduction is given? Because yes, we are going to be taught by the Lord all the Upasana Padhatis. We are going to do them definitely. But while doing so, should we forget what is the ultimate goal to be achieved? And should we forget that every step is followed to achieve that ultimate goal? If yes, then along with any of the other earlier samsaric way of living, even his adhyatmic upasanas also remain only as samsaric way of upasanas, never giving us the ultimate result of mukti. So we have to be very careful. And a sadhaka who is under the Guru's guidance for many years and studies all the Shastra, for him, through everything, whatever he does only upasana and sadhana, and through every upasana and sadhana, undoubtedly in him, the goal is only Bhagavan. He should never have anything other than Paramatma as the goal. Ye pakka hona hai. Such person alone can be a sadhaka, does everything in the spirit and light of sadhana. He alone has the chance to slowly eject out of inner and outer samsara, which is unnecessarily projected and we are suffering, and he alone can go towards the mukta anubhava sthiti. His alone is the fulfilled life. His alone is the blessed and blissful life. So let us be equipped with this understanding every day through listening. And let us spend some time in doing Manana Chintanam and make our hearts filled strongly with these convictions. Thereafter, throughout life, only those things which are sadhanas, we do that. And anything which are told to be done by us, let us do them also again in the spirit of sadhana. And what is final sadhana? Only two things. Entire mind and entire life is only dedicated in the pursuit of Paramatma. And this time and mind, along with all faculties and all the things that are around, they're only used for Bhagavan. That is why Swaha, 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 Namama, Namama, Namama. That whole thing is offered to Bhagavan. This is what is called the spiritual sadhana. In short. Now, in this chapter, we have already exhaustively seen how beautifully Sri Uddhavaji puts the question in front of the Lord, seeks guidance from him to guide him in this Aradhana Prakriya. Kriyayogyam samachakshva bhavat Aradhanam Prabho. Yasmat tvam ye yatharchanti sattvataha sattvatarshabhaha. After that, we saw how great rishis, munis also throughout their life, before they become qualified for the ultimate meditation, they have invoked the grace of Paramatma in whatever the form they were conceiving or they were given the idea, depending on their own periods of history, invoked the grace of him through the various upasanas of Vedic Arthantrika, which are prevalent at that time. The authorities of the Naradaji, the Vedavyasa Bhagavan, the Brahaspatiji, Shiva Bhagavan, Brahmadeva, Sakshat Narayana himself, Bhrigu Rishi Ityadi, few of them main ones, Sri Uddhavji is quoted. And it's a very inspiring thing to us also that what Upasana Paddhati in subsequent shlokas, Bhagavan Krishna is telling is already is practiced by such a great people, and all of them have got the blessing or result out of it. By getting the result, they have sanctified, they have purified, they have authorized these upasana prakriyas. Keep that in mind. So having said that, toward the end what Uddhavji said, Bhaktaya cha Anuraktaya. Please tell me this Archana Ityadi by which the Karma Bandha Mochanam happens. So, okay, O Vishweshwara, O Vishweshwareshwara. Then Bhagavan started telling, please remember, there is no anta to this karma kanda. Nahi anto ananta bharasya karma kandasya. There is no end to the karma kanda in both ways of its vistruti and its number of steps that are there. We have sufficiently studied it. This point Bhagavan is telling, as we 100 times repeated, only to tell us that what you learn from your guru or what you learn from any of the books or whatever is liked by you, while involving in your puja in that way, you reach out to your goal. While doing so, when you come across somebody else doing in a different way of upasanas, don't leave your upasana or don't even fight with them by saying that they are wrong. All that you avoid, because there are many paddhatis that are there of this karma kanda by which the antakarana shuddhi, ekagrata, astikta in Bhagavan, Krupa of Bhagavan invoked, then Bhagavan also finds his own different ways as suitable to the disciples or the bhaktas to reveal the truth. कैसे किसको अनुभव देना है उनके हाथ में है. अनुभव एक ही तरह से होता है. Ultimate experience is one, but to whom in what way Bhagavan reveals is his choice. So to see to it that we don't get carried away by confusion, seeing so many varieties of upasana, Bhagavan says, Nahi antaha ananta parasya karma kandasya. Then later on he said, in next shloka, Sankshiptam varnaishyami yatavad anupurvashaha. What is a message for us in that is what? A puja paddhati which includes all beautiful steps and which you can perform in 1 hour to 2 hours time. If you learn and stick to that, you will be getting the benefit result as required. So yathavat, as sanctioned, authorized, anupurvashaha, without missing any of the details right from the beginning to end, at the same time sankshiptam, not too exhaustive for not to be able to remember, not to so many things that you cannot be practicing it, you will not be able to. तो आपको नहीं समझ में आवे, आपको याद ना रहे, आप कर नहीं पाओगे, ऐसा हम नहीं बताएंगे. हम आपको ऐसे संक्षेप में बताएंगे जिसको आप समझ सकेंगे, जिसको आप याद कर सकेंगे, जिसको आप कर सकते हैं. बट एट द सेम टाइम अनुपूर्वशः all the necessary things also will be taught. This is a glory of all the gurus, all the Mahatmas who, understanding our level of maturity, give us those sadhanas. When we do, either we directly get experience or if it is parampara, we get qualified for the next level. Bhagavan Krishna is so kind. Then Bhagavan started telling us, please visualize, I am repeating this every day so that we get clearly the understanding of these things as thoroughly as possible. And among all these understood things, depending on our age, our facilities, our faculties, our situation, position, whatever we can do, individually at our home or collectively with friends, family, we can do that. पहले डिटेल्स को एग्जॉस्टिवली समझना है. सो व्हाट आर द 3 टाइप्स ऑफ यज्ञ और उपासना भगवान आर देयर? वैदिकः, तांत्रिकः, मिश्रः. So let this thought go deep into our heart. The Vaidika Paddhati of Yajnayaga, the Tantrika Paddhati of Upasanas, then the Mishra Paddhati of doing this as well as that. These are the 3 are there by which the Bhagavan's Aradhana is done. So if somebody is doing only Yajna, not Upasana, and if you like the Upasana, don't tell that they are wrong. This is one paddhati Bhagavan himself is saying. And you are a Agnika, but somebody is doing only the Upasanas, don't say that they are wrong again. Yeah, and if somebody is doing both of them, don't imagine that they are confused. Yeah, they don't have the faith in one of them that they are doing both. Toward the end, Bhagavan will tell also, very subtly indicates. But an intelligent person will catch it. He says, in this way, with both of these ways of upasana, those who worship me, they get all their sankalpas fulfilled. See, evam kriya yogapataihi puman vaidikatantrikaihi archan uvayatah siddhim mattah vindati abhipsatam. The last sloka, 49th in his teaching, Bhagavan says, so therefore, be clear about it. And for us, among these three, Mishra or Vaidika or Tantrika, whichever is feasible, we should do. Now, whichever we are following, let us follow. But what is important is what? Please never forget it. That we should have the Bhakti Shraddha, that we should have the clarity of the steps involved in, that we should abide by them, and we should follow them, do them till the result comes. In any of the field in the world also, first decide the goal, understand the means, get the resources, do the planning, take the help you required, and fully plunge into the activity without any distractions or stoppages till the goal is reached. That is what is a direct, simple maturity of any person marked for success in any field for that matter. So it is even in Adhyatmika Marga. So any doubt now? Question to yourself. Vaidika, Tantrika, Mishra. Okay? Then Bhagavan said next one. Trayanam ipsitena eva vidhina. So we stressed on this point for 10-12 minutes earlier, yesterday and day before also. Take little time of yours, and what is your mind heart is able to like and do among these three, you select it. Swamiji, can I do Vaidika 6 months, Tantrika 6 months, Mishra later on? You can do, provided you are able to focus on the process and the goal without getting confused or distracted. What the confusion and distraction? While doing this one, the other is remembered. While remember doing that one, this is remembered. If that confusion is there, if that type of weakness the mind has got, it is better to stick to one. It's just like anything. Swami, should I remember Rama or Krishna? Or can I remember Rama 6 months and Krishna 6 months and Shiva 6 months? When you do Shiva, if the other two gods are not disturbing, when you do Rama, the other are not disturbing, then you can do. But if you say Om Namah Shivaya and that time Rama is just poking and saying, Yaar, mere ko kyun bole gaye? And if you are doing Om Sri Rama and Shiva says, hey, why did you remember, forget me? If that type of doubtful mind is there, weak mind, at that time you take better one God and leave others for freedom, you can travel only one God. Understood? It's all in the intellect's understanding and conviction, and that convinced and understood intellect, when it is able to command the mind, not allowing it to create any doubts or projections, imaginations. Every day one God you can take, and every day different pujas you can do, and yet you are neither missing the process nor missing the goal. It's all the ability which you have developed or generated. And all those lower level of mind of doubts, confusions will be there till our understandings in this regarding, in this way, get become stronger, and we practice that understanding also till the mind is only made as a slave for the intellect's conviction to follow whatever the intellect says. Like that, if like the question as you asked, answer also is like that. If the intellect thought, now the Chaturmasas are going on. I'll do 1 month only the yajna. I'll do 1 month only the upasana. And the next 2 months I will do both of them. Convinced in the intellect. Let the mind and senses fully follow that process. Then you are able to do it and reach out. Now always remember, it is a mind-intellect mixture. When they are not trained properly, together become an enemy. First of all, not allowing us to go into the spirituality. Later on, even if we try to go, they will always not allow us to have the clarity. Even when you get the clarity, while becoming practical, these two thieves will try to confuse us. Same intellect mind only earlier were taking us only into the worldly activities and binding us only to be a transmigrating jiva from one body to the other to enjoy the karma phalas of the good or bad karma. ये वाला पिक्चर very clearly हमारे हृदय में होना है. And this picture comes to our heart undoubtedly only by Guru Kripa and Ishvara Kripa, whose feet we hold on to in some lives continuously with all the dedication and devotion. ये तो पक्का है. गुरु भगवान के कृपा से ही ये सारा आध्यात्मिक साधना का पिक्चर स्पष्ट होता है. कृपा विल कम ओनली व्हेन वी सर्व देम, वर्शिप देम फॉर मेनी मेनी years or even some lives. Clear? Now here it said ubhayesham ipsitena trayanam ipsitena eva. It's clear? What your ipsa, you be clear about it. Then vidhina samarset, we have explained exhaustively right from the beginning. The vidhi vidhana, if you make a habit of it, throughout the life it remains. In the beginning only, if you try to find the shortcuts, throughout the life, we only practice the shortcuts by which we will not enjoy doing and enjoying reaching. It's like anything, like the driving you are learning. On the first 1 month only, while driving the lightning the driving, if all the vidhi vidhana are thoroughly respected, valued, and learned, throughout life you can do it and you are safe. But in the beginning only, we compromise with some things. It can be the internal compromise of not wanting to know every detail. It can be compromised with regard to some of the vehicle related things, some of the road relating things, some of the traffic related things. That becomes a habit. Is it not? Like the vehicle related क्या है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है फिर से कार बेल्ट में ही नहीं लगाऊंगा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है इफ आई डोंट फॉलो द जेब्रा क्रॉसिंग, और क्या फर्क पड़ता है इफ द स्पीड लिमिट इन द सिटीज आई विल नॉट फॉलो. These are the carelessnesses when we start doing right from beginning. One day, because of these things only, we undergo some accident. But vidhi vidhana, if we follows right from beginning, everything, whether it is taking care of our health, whether it is managing our finances, whether it is taking care of our udyogam or the job, etc., all of them have a beautiful vidhi if you follow from that beginning. And gardeners, two types of gardeners. One is he is just a careless, carefree gardener of half-mindedness without following any vidhi vidhana. He just plants the plants and tries to grow. It will grow, but you don't see any system in the plants there. You don't see any proper growth of the plants. Even the flowers, etc., they come erratic. But the other one who follows the vidhi vidhana, है कि नहीं, जिसमें दो पौधों के बीच में कितना फासला होना चाहिए और कौन से पौधे को कितने जमीन के अंदर गाड़ना है, यू अंडरस्टैंड, फिर चारों तरफ कितना खाई रखनी ताकि पानी अंदर जा सकता है. व्हेन ही फॉलोज द विधि विधानम एंड टू व्हाट प्लांट which manure to be added in which quantity at what time, if you beautifully follow that vidhi vidhanam, you can see when that plant starts giving their first green leaves itself, there is a joy in seeing that. It can be a gardener in a garden, it can be a mali, or it can be a kisan in the fasal. You can see when you see from the zooming level or from a drone. आप शूटिंग करते हुए आपके घर में टीवी में देख लेना, ये 500 acre of land, crop is grown there, that is a paddy. You can visualize. In some parts you can see systematic growth of the paddy. In other places you can see erratic. The difference is vidhi vidhan. Understand? In India, there were the times where we were not following Vidhi Vidhana. Therefore, every product used to be of, क्या कहते हैं ना, not a good quality. Therefore, little higher than the middle class people used to prefer the imported goods. I'm talking about 30, 25, 30 years back. क्योंकि हम विधि विधान फॉलो नहीं करते थे, इसलिए कोई भी चीज प्रॉपर होता ही नहीं था. Luckily for various reasons, maybe to compete with other nations or to increase our income, जो भी कहो, or an exchange, we started following vidhi vidhana. Therefore, our products also are gaining the international standards. Demand is growing, forex is coming. Is it not? Anywhere you can see in this world, vidhi. See, this has become a habit not to follow a vidhi, because of which individually and totally also there is suffering. This learning about the necessity of vidhi And strictly following to Vidya Vidhanam is called as a maturity. What do we think on the name of freedom? कौन क्वेश्चन करेगा मेरे को? जैसा मैं चाहता हूं ऐसा करूंगा. Pause here for a moment. What is said? Who will question me? It is my freedom. Even if you questions, I have all my answers. This carelessness, born out of the arrogance, alone is the cause of the problems later on, because without problem, anything is achieved only when we follow Vidhi Vidhan. Like a youngster. Is it not? Who will stop me? I am a son of MLA or MP. No police can catch. Even if he catches, I'll show my ID. I'll tell him, he will be afraid only. All this is true. Therefore, I will not follow the speed limit in the roads. All is true. You are using or misusing or abusing your position to be the son of your father who is a MLA MP. Yes, sir, ठीक. But by not following the Vidhi Vidhana and being erratic or licentious, finally, who is going to suffer? Is the father, because of whose name you did all this nonsense, or is that police constable there, or this a traffic? It is you that with your rough and tough speed, you only hit somewhere. तुम्हारे हाथ पैर टूटेंगे, मर भी जाओगे. Unless this is understood that by following the vidhi, I am the one who is going to get maximum benefit without any problem. And without following the vidhi vidhana, it is I who am going to suffer. If this conviction doesn't come in the intellect, then I will listen to the suggestion of the mind to compromise with everything. And the one who compromises with the dharma or the rules with vidhi vidhana, he is just compromising with his systematic progress and his possibility of higher achievements. That much background is there when Bhagavan says vidhina. Otherwise, why will Bhagavan say in the first shloka only Trayanam ipsitena? Then eva is the word. Trayanam ipsitena eva vidhina eva samarchet eva. Eva means must, should. Among these three, whatever you are convinced about, you do it. Luckily मिश्रण भी दिया है. Therefore, if you say that एक करूं तो दूसरा मिस हो जाएगा, मैं क्या करूं? भगवान ने मिश्रण भी दे दिया, मिश्रा जी को भी दे दिया ना. So there's no doubt for you. So any one of them eva vidhina ipsitena eva. Second is vidhina eva. Vidhina eva. Vidhina eva. Third one is, we have exhaustively explained, samarchayet eva. Right from the beginning, when we develop that perfection, like children, when they are given yagnopavita samskara, first 1-2 months only, if they do vidhi vidhan say, and they thoroughly know it, there is a chance for them to do throughout life vidhi vidhan. First few days only, they bribe the mother or father or even those panditji who came to teach and cut short the steps methods. Why should I join or not? I'll do only 11 times Om Bhurva Swaha. If do it throughout, they will compromise. Then one thought, though it becomes too much if it is explained, still I will say it. What is that? At one place, if we compromise with vidhi vidhanam, then we start compromising at every place. Then where we started compromising with vidhi, we started getting lost there. In the same way, everywhere we start becoming the losers. And we never think and understand that I am losing or I am failing only because I am not following the vidhi. On the other hand, at one place I follow the vidhi and it gives me the joy of success, then it has a chance of inspiring us to follow the vidhi in every of the endeavors. Then in every endeavor, we become successful. Okay? And the third thing, one more extension I am saying you. Who has given us the vidhi? Bhagavan. Is it not? Now, when we are following the vidhi, he is always observing. And when he is observing us that we are following the vidhi given by him scrupulously, there are extra bonus marks added to our CR. Is it not? We'll be in good books of Bhagavan. Because like the parents or the teachers or the bosses, like those subordinates who follow the vidhi, so too the divinity loves or values or guides or blesses those individuals who are convinced and practical in doing the vidhi as it is. सो भगवान का भी कृपा होगा, निरंतर विधि का प्रैक्टिस करने का होगा, उसके फल स्वरूप हर जगह पे हमको विजय मिलता रहेगा. देन द जीवन जो है हमारा विजयों का परंपरा के रूप में होगा इफ वी डू इट विधि विधान. इट इज जनरल एक्सप्लेनेशन अबाउट द वर्ड विधि. Particularly here also, when I am going to teach the upasana, follow the vidhi. Understood? So to Samarchayet, we said. Samarchayet is a huge topic again. If I start explaining, it may take a lot of time. Cut short, उसका इतना भी कह सकते हैं कि involve in doing the upasana with vidhi vidhana, so much involved in that we are not available for anything else. And luckily for us, the best examples are there. Every day we go through them. When we are so much involved in watching your choice of movie or serial, is it not? You are not aware of who is around also. That much. Because the sannivesham, the scene is so pulling us into that. Or somebody, the last over 12 runs, 1 wicket or 2 wickets, cricket match. How intensely they are involved in watching it. They won't even go for washroom even if they have to go. They'll stop. They do all types of pranayama, yoga, everything at that time. Even the very important call from Bhagavan also comes. We say, Bhagavan, 3 minutes baad phone karna, I just have to see. Is it not? Feel the meaning of the Samarchayet through these examples. Actually, sadhana means क्या है ना, अपने आप को पूरा उसमें डाल देना. इस तरह से अपने आप को पूरा किसी भी कर्म में हम डालते ना, that itself is the highest achievement, that itself is actual samadhi sthiti. Samarchayet, samarchayet, samarchayet. Now just imagine when we are following these 3 things. One is we have selected our choice of Paddhati Upasana, Vaidikar, Tantrikar, Mishra. Second is we have understood all the Vidhi and following it scrupulously. And Samarchayet, in that we are using all our faculties with their best of abilities in doing that Upasana. Try to see what would be our state of our mind or senses. No more the world or worldliness is in them. And all of them are fully soaked in doing that Archana Upasana. This is what is the purpose for which we have come. And this is the only way the Dehendra Manabuddhyadi, which are given to us by the Lord, with which He wanted to us to reach to Him, we can reach. If this is not done, wherever the loopholes are left for the faculties, then they start getting involved in the imaginary projected world, and then slowly we start falling down from the liberation giving ultimate path and goal toward this world of bondage. Now, even to understand this thing, we need a state of little purified, detached mind. If those are not purified, not subtle enough, not sufficiently detached from the world, so for such people, when these thoughts are told, it appears like मेरे दुनिया के खुशियों को छीन रहे हैं. You know, that feeling comes. Like the child. When he's told not to play the games and go and study, if he's matured, he'll understand, yeah, I forgot. Mother, you thank you, reminded me, I'm going to study. If that fellow is not matured, what will be in his mind? His useless mother or whoever not allowing me to enjoy my life, they are chinoing all my freedom of this involvement. Is it not? In the same way, a little unprepared and immature mind with no detachment, with no subtlety, when these things are told, that your entire faculties are given to involve in the prakriya of doing upasana to the Lord, so that you have to reach to God. And if you don't do that, you will be caught up in the mess or mesh created by your own self. These things don't understand. इसलिए हमें कुछ साल गुरु के यहाँ रहने से he will slowly prepare our faculties to be able to understand and digest the need and necessity of doing our spiritual sadhana, in which all our faculties are involved in that. Then only the prakriya start by him. We start liking, we start doing. Then you can see the transformation happening in us. And the first transformation that happens in us is what? Those worldly indulgences, which I thought earlier as the only goal and purpose of life. From that, I little bit get mature to understand that I can live without them. It's okay if I don't involve in them. If this first thing is achieved, if this first breakthrough is achieved, I tell you, nobody can stop our growth progress now. If this first thing is not achieved, that I can live without them, then we cannot live without them. Therefore, we will never enter spirituality. Our life after life will be only in karma, karma phala, kamana, karma, karma phala. उसी जन्म मरण चक्कर में होंगे. And once in a while, you have to look back and see when I have done upasana or attended the class or did my study or did my japatapa. And while doing so, when I missed some of my bhoga of the world like earlier, did I lose anything? We should think. Then we understand nothing is lost. Did I gain anything? Yeah, little quietness, little purity, little satisfaction in the mind, little sense of self-confidence, self-respect. फिर जाकर ऐसी बात है तो फिर और थोड़ा करेंगे. Like for me, when I'm doing classes rigorously from last 2 years, I'm seeing the difference in me. That able to understand Shastra more deeply. Able to perceive the truth and reality in the Shastras, what they are teaching. It is adding joy to me. Then slowly I'm coming to conviction that in the life, if two things that are there importantly to be achieved are: one, study Shastra, understand the means and goal; two, follow the means and reach the goal, Paramatma. Clear? सबके लिए ऐसा ही होगा धीरे धीरे. So we have sufficiently explained the three words of त्रयाणाम ईप्सितेन एव विधिना एव sam archayat eva. Remember, vidhi is not a taught, then archana is not a taught. It will be taught. But before that, he is giving the importance of giving importance to vidhi and giving the importance to doing the archana samyak rupena. And ipsitena is choose yourself, not because somebody told. Because if somebody told a thing you do, one day you will drop it. Even if you get guidance from the guru, then make it's your choice. So that you will involve in that with all your liking. है ना, चाहे दुनियादारी में कहो या धर्म प्रवर्तना में कहो या आध्यात्मिक साधना में कहो ना, जब हम पसंद करने लगते हैं अपने साधना को, फिर हम करने लगते हैं अच्छी तरह. अगर पसंद नहीं करते हैं ना कभी छोड़ देते. Therefore, Bhagavan ipsitena. By saying ipsita, he is not compelling. He is also freeing himself. So that nobody should blame in the future. तुमने जबरदस्त मेरे को करवाया, वैसे मेरे को इच्छा ही नहीं था, मुझे अच्छा ही नहीं लग रहा है, अभी मैं छोड़ना चाहता हूँ. भगवान कहते हैं शुरू से मैं कह रहा तुम्हारी इच्छा है, कर तो कर, मर तो मर, मेरे को क्या है. हो गया. Then we started seeing yesterday कि one by one thing कि first यदा स्वनिगमेन उक्तम द्विजत्वं प्राप्य पुरुषः. Now this is the shastric way of saying the thing, and never ever it is a harm to follow such things of the shastra as they are told, even though there is an alternative, and the alternative should never be the first thing. Is it not? The main thing alone should be the first thing. If at all any problem is there in inability to follow the first one, we should take up the alternative. The first thing is what? According to your own achara, get the yagnopavita samskara, and then you are authorized to do upasana. This is the main thing. If by any reason, if the yagnopavita samskara is not done, then without that yagnopavita samskara, also you can do upasana, but it is the alternative, not the first best one. You understood? First best is what? Let the parents decide as soon as child is born कि कौन से उम्र में उसका यज्ञोपवीत कराना है, so that he becomes qualified right from the beginning to learn the upasana vidhi of Paramatma, so that throughout life he is under the chhatra chaya of Bhagavan and his protection and his blessings. See that maturity of parent, which parents have to nowadays. Every of the parents only think which country I should send my child to. Is it not? Which job I must get him and which type of higher education I have to give him. In short, how I destroy him by making him only materialistic, bhautikavadi, and how best and quickly and easily I keep him away from spiritual growth. Every of the stupid parents, I tell stupid only, let them come, I'll prove their stupidity. If they have at least little maturity to understand. है ना? If they are too strong Rakshasa type, I can't argue with them. I accept my defeat before discussion. बट कोई किसी के पास कुछ कॉमन सेंस है, सुनने का मेच्योरिटी है, तो श्रद्धा है, हम उनको साबित कर सकते. बट द पॉइंट इज व्हाट? The point is, as soon as possible, get them Yagnopavita. Then, two insistences always we have to tell the Yagnopavita gain children. One, alright, you got this one, every day you must do your Gayatri. Remember, वो रोते रोते भी करें, करना important. रोना उसका स्वभाव है बिकॉज द चाइल्ड. करना उसका स्वभाव बनना चाहिए क्योंकि ओनली इन द चाइल्डहुड यू कैन मेक हिम हैव संस्कार. This is the first instance. Second is what? Now you got the economic samskar. You are fit for doing upasana. Therefore, you must add that also. Now, the biggest gain is what? If your children are taught these two things, 1 hour of their life's time is spent in that. I know I am coming to a very common sense discussion of life management, keeping away spirituality for a minute only. He will be able to manage his entire day schedule, sacrificing 1 hour for the sadhana. Is it not? This learning will come to him. Though we abuse this sadhana as sacrifice, later on that child will know, you will know, that is 1 hour investment in doing the Gayatri Upasana as well as Upasana was the one from where he was getting the time management abilities, he was getting the conservation of the faculties, he was getting the divine grace because of which all his faculties are becoming sharper, therefore he is able to succeed everywhere. It is true. A upasana, regularly upasana doing vyaktis, performance in the professions and non-upasana doing vyaktis performance, there is a lot of difference you can see. In fact, if one who is doing upasana regularly and if he is there in the interviewing table, he will look at the boy who has come for interview, immediately can recognize and say, how many times you chant daily Gayatri? Sir, on Saturday, Sunday or not 8, but every day only 27. I don't find time more than that. Enough, he will know it looking at that fellow's virtues on the face of following daily or as per convenience this Yagnopavitadi. So, should we give it to our children or not? You decide and remind them. बेटा खाना खाया क्या? बेटा तबीयत ठीक है ना? बेटा कोरोना से बच रहे हो ना? बेटा पैसे बहुत जमा कर रहे हो ना? बेटा बच्चों को लेकर घूमने गए कि नहीं? These things I will not stop. You do that. But the other things, beta, did you do your your Sandhya Vandanam? Did you do the japa given to you by Swamiji? Did you do that upasana which you learned? Did you do that sloka charanam? Did you chant that Meda Sukta mantra for the memory? Did you chant that Lakshmi Devi mantra so that you will never be lacking in your wealth? Did you chant that Saraswati mantra so that you are updating your knowledge? Did you chant the Shiva mantra so that your mind is calm and quiet? Are you remembering Lord Rama with this sloka so that you are always on the path of righteousness? Do you remember the sloka of Krishna so that you are always in a dynamic, joyful mood like this, like him? Do you remember Mother Shakti so that you are never compromised in your performance? ये चीजें कौन पेरेंट्स आज बच्चे को याद करा रहे हैं? खुद को ही नहीं आते बेशरम लोग. I am adding all that as an explanation to this point where Bhagavan says, Yada swanigamena uktam dvijatvam prapya purusha. Because in life, no, only when we take initiatives or initiations from the gurus, there is a chance of some commitment. Unless we are committed, we can never give up the lower, we can never take up the higher. We can never achieve the greater things. Otherwise, what is there in the life for us to protect ourselves from our own mind? है ना, मुझे उपनयन संस्कार हुआ, मुझे डेली सुबह दोपहर शाम को करना है. Only that commitment will make him do, and then only he will be controlling his faculties, divinizing them through all the upasanas, and getting the blessings in the form of using these abilities only for the higher positive righteous purpose. In this way, we have to keep on inducing the children. Why children? Everybody. Some are the other initiations and initiation-oriented anushtanas. This is the only way by which the powerful Maya in the mind we can transcend from its clutches which are bent upon destroying us. After that protection from destruction, only we can aim at the higher and higher end goals. And in the goals higher, there is no limit. Personally, you can grow to a great level, serve the world also in a big way, and even reach the ultimate heights of spirituality. Hope you are catching. But if these are the importances, if they are not there, Bhagavan would have not mentioned it in the beginning only. Ivaya yada swanigamena uktam dvijatvam prapya purusha. And the second secret, yesterday I shared toward then you caught it or not. Once a dvijatva has come, then you have to compel them now. First compelling is take the dvijatva by going through yagnopavitam. Second compelling is what? Now you got the thing. So if you do every day the Gayatri Upasana or the puja, then पाप लग जाएगा. ऐसे डराना पड़ता है. पाप लगे या ना लगे, पहले इसको इस काम में लगाओ. Yeah, पाप लगता है is not the Gayatri Mata or anybody will curse you. You will curse yourself because if the time is not spent in some divine activity, obviously you will spend it in the devilish activity. Obviously ना, पाप लगता है मतलब खुद ही लगा लेते हो का अर्थ वो होता है. Like if you don't come to my class, पाप लगता है. Not that I curse you with papa or anybody. You will do something other than divinity, divine pursuit. That is called as papa. Somewhere you will be caught. So, yada swanigamena uktam dijatvam prapya. Now the Purusha. Why that Purusha word is it? So Purusha is he who uses all his Purushartha Samarthya. And the right utilization of the Purushartha Samarthya is only when we have some higher, greater, diviner, nobler, substantial goals in our life. That person who is using all his abilities, faculties in reaching the higher goals is called as Purusha. Otherwise, he is not Purusha only. You can't call him in Stri, neither Purusha nor Stri. Then he is what? Then Apumsaka only. And though it looks very bad to listen, but such things alone will inspire us to protect ourselves from ourselves. If I invoke my Purushartha Samarthyam in using in them for Dharma and Moksha, I am a real Purusha. If these two are not pursued, I am only going for Artha and Kama and destroying myself. I am using the Purushartha but not in a right manner, then I am not helping myself. This is how I think for myself and I put myself in the right path. नहीं तो कौन है, मैं अकेला हूँ, मेरा मन ही है, उस मन का खेल है, वही अगर ठीक डायरेक्ट किया गया तो मुझे बचाएगी, अगर नहीं है तो वही मेरा नाश करेगी. Is it not? This how. Then yada swanigamena uktam dvijatvam prapya purushaha. In that the need of yagdava samskara, after which doing the sandhya upasana as the upasana becomes a compulsion. Then Bhagavan says yatha yajeta mam bhaktya shraddhaya tan nibodha me. So after that way getting qualified to the Upanayam, in what way if my yajna is done with bhakti and shraddha, so that my blessings reach you, as a result of which the purpose of karma bandha mokshanam, the purpose of nishreyasam, that person can gain shrunu, listen from me, nibodha, thoroughly exhausted. So here two words are used, bhaktya shraddhaya. This bhaktya shraddhaya should be added to mam yajeta. This bhaktya shraddhaya should be added to tan nibodha, tat nibodha. सुनने के टाइम श्रद्धा भक्ति से सुनो समझो, समझने के बाद प्रैक्टिस करने के टाइम भी उतना ही श्रद्धा भक्ति से करना. I told yesterday, the bhakti is the inner feeling. These words are such one. As we grow and mature, the definitions become subtler to them, in them, for them. So the bhakti is the inner beautiful attitude. Like I respect, revere my Gurudev. That inner feeling is bhakti. What is Shraddha? Therefore, I must follow whatever he is teaching or telling me as regards sadhana, as regards seva. That's called a Shraddha. Inner feeling of bhakti, outer performance of Shraddha with that. So, Nibodha, सुन समझने के समय भी श्रद्धा भक्ति से सुनो समझो. उसके बाद यजेत मामा, रियली जब प्रैक्टिकली मेरा यज्ञ करोगे उस समय भी उसी भक्ति श्रद्धा से करना. Now the delusion of Maya works in this way only. Ki it allows us to do all the upasanas, but what it does is it takes away the essence. That is the power of Maya, where you have to be very cautious. Are you understanding it? Like many of the products. The essence is like honey. The original honey is taken away. Little flavor of the honey is added. All the mixed up things only added to that, and it is sold in the bottles. आजकल बहुत सारे चीजें, the real essence is taken away and it is manipulated and sold. ओरिजिनल आप चावल भी वो प्लास्टिक चावल होता है, सब्जियां भी प्लास्टिक सब्जियां, प्लास्टिक कैबेज ही तो आ गया, प्लास्टिक टमाटर भी आने लगेंगे. टुडे फर्स्ट टाइम इन माय लाइफ ऐसा चेरी टोमेटो, फर्स्ट टाइम मेरे लिए, आप तो डेली खाते होंगे. आई वाज अफ्रेड ये तो प्लास्टिक तो नहीं है. इट वाज सो स्मॉल लाइक दैट. व्हाट इज द एसेंस व्हिच द माया टेक्स अवे, allowing us to do everything? Shraddha and bhakti. Now what Gita says before the moksha sannyasa yoga of 18th chapter, as the last shloka in the 17th chapter, which talks about the Shraddha, what is said? Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam krutam chayatu asaditi uchyate partha nachadat pretya no iha. Without bhakti Shraddha, whatever you do, hutam, the havana done, dattam, the dana done, tapastaptam, the tapasya is done, krutam chayata, any other sadhanas, japa, or your yoga sadhanas, or your Gayatri Sandhya Vandan, all of that, भगवान is specifically saying, अर्जुन को ऐसे हिलाकर उसको खींचकर बोल रहे हैं, हे पार्थ. Was it that? असद इति उच्यते पार्थ. हे पार्थ, it is equivalent of not doing only. Therefore, nachatat pretya no iha. He knows that people in the modern time will talk in English. Bhagavan is telling in English only, no iha, no result will come here and nor there also. प्रेत्य मतलब जाकर, इहा मतलब यहाँ भी उसका फल नहीं होगा. इहा means while doing and in the mind there is no joy of doing, and the Lord will ask you, not the mechanical things, my dear, I wanted you to do, because any robot can do the mechanical things. I wanted you to do by attending it to it consciously. The conscious attendance of doing puja is Shraddha Bhakti. तो कर तो मेरा पूजा बार बार इंद्रियों से रहे थे, but where is your mind and intellect? The bhakti of the mana and the shraddha of the intellect was never present in that. So in my understanding, it is as good as not done only. Therefore, we don't give result to you. Nacha tat pretya no iha. If you don't remember that sloka of Gita, 7th chapter, last sloka, this thing why Bhagavan is saying, we will not be able to relate. So, bhaktya shraddhaya nibodha, bhaktya shraddhaya yajet. So today's take-home point is what? How much puja, how many upasanas we are doing. Though it is important as regard the quantity is concerned, but what we have to attend to is the quality. Quality to all our spiritual sadhanas is added only by Shraddha and Bhakti. With that Shraddha Bhakti, consistently we go on doing. बाबा करने में ही इतना आनंद आएगा, फिर फल तो इतना जल्दी, इतना मजबूत, मजेदार अवश्य मिलेगा. And if you don't have Shraddha and Bhakti, first of all, you only get bored after some time and you only give up. And then after Bhagavan says, मैंने छोड़ दिया, मैं क्या फल दूं तुमको? And this chance of losing our Shraddha Bhakti, which is every moment there, for our own inner Rajoguna and Tamoguna reasons, for our own powerful vasanas reasons, or there are so many people around us, the stupid fellows, who are ready to misguide us. If you give them little of mauka, gone. They will see to it that the Shraddha Bhakti they take away from our upasanas, from our anushtanas, from our satsangas, from our sadhanas. In सबसे वो लोग हमारी श्रद्धा भक्ति ले लेंगे. Not that they do deliberately. One or two may even destroy us that way because they are jealous of us. Others innocently do. अरे महाराज कोई innocently करे या जानबूझकर करें, थोड़ा हमारे दूध में वो विष पिला के मिला के दें, इफेक्ट तो होगा ना कि उसका हम मर जाएंगे. And there are 2% people who consciously destroy our Shraddha Bhakti. 2%. Because they are chor, natak baj, and they don't like us to do sadhana, they are jealous of us, therefore they may. Remaining 98%, they innocently destroy our Bhakti Shraddha. वहाँ हमारा अकल यूज करना है, हमें बेवकूफ नहीं भरना. And wherever your people around you call you for small little things, at the time of your upasanas, pujas and satsanga, they do innocently. But most of us don't use our brains that time and we just get carried away. And that till that day comes in our life where we say, for all the useless things of the world, I will not compromise with my regular study, sadhana, swadhyaya and satsanga. That is the golden day. जब तक ये निर्णय नहीं होता मेरे अंदर कि मेरे लिए मैं सब रोक सकता हूं लेकिन साधना नहीं, उसी दिन हमको उनके ऊपर भगवान के यहाँ से ब्लेसिंग्स आएंगे. फॉर एवरीथिंग इन द वर्ल्ड वी कॉम्प्रोमाइज अवर रेगुलरिटीज, सिंसियरिटी, स्टडी, काइटनेस ऑफ द माइंड. अब बताओ कौन हमको. दैट इज व्हाई वी ऑलवेज से it is always better from entering from worldliness to spirituality, but that's only first step. First step is not last step. Later on we have to improve upon. What is the improving? This is the one. Once I am committed to give my time for these sadhanas, come what may, I'll not compromise, at least for those which are not so important. And you see in your own life, I tell you, I give an example. You go to somebody's house and ask that fellow to give you time. He was doing some upasana that time. He got up from that upasana and came with you. You love that person. यार तू मेरे लिए sacrifice किया. Very good. Other person also you go. अरे आओ खेलते हैं. He told that एक घंटा बैठ मुझे अपना उपासना करके आनी. And we will murmur inside that he made me sit for 1 hour, stupid fellow. But if you cool and calmly think, whom do you respect heart in heart? Do you respect this fellow that who left his upasana and came for you, or you respect that fellow? You like or not? Always remember in life, liking is different, respect is different. You like this fellow, he gave up his puja and came for you, but you don't respect him. But the other fellow, you don't like him. बेवकूफ मुझे 1 घंटा बिठाया, but you respect him. Same with the people around. Always expect the respect and value from people, not the liking. If you expect the people to like you, then you compromise with all your commitments. If you expect the respect from them, don't compromise. Whether they like or respect, forget about it. We are answerable to Bhagavan. We are supposed to answer to him when he asks me, where did you do my puja today? Bhagavan, I didn't do puja. Why? Because that fellow came. अरे मूर्ख, मैंने ही भेजा उसको तेरे को टेस्ट करने के लिए कि how much is your commitment towards me. It is not a sadhana upasana when you have nothing else to do, therefore you are doing. The importance or the greatness of upasana is when anything and everything else is there, all that when you give up and do my upasana, then only all other things I give up and come to help you. I am explaining all that for this word bhakti and shraddha. Bhakti Shraddha, only 10% explained. Lot more can be discussed. I leave it for your discussion. Now, yesterday also we saw, see what we spoke yesterday, what we said today. 10-20% are the common thoughts. All the other things are new thoughts and important thoughts, the deeper thoughts. Now, Bhagavan told us these 7 types of the things in which we can see the Bhagavan and do his Archa Puja Upasana as Krishna Bhagavan is going to teach. Let us be very clear. Every point is consequential and connected. Collect all of them, then organize in your life and start doing. What are the 7 things? Archayam. Upasana of the Lord can be done by invoking Him in the Archa Murti, idols, Standile on the earth, Agnau in the fire, Surya in the Surya, Apsu in the water, Hrudi in the heart, Dvije in any of the Brahmana or Sadhu Sannyas. These are the 6-7 places. Archayam, Standile, Agnau, Surya, Apsu, Hrudi, Dvije. 7, I explained yesterday. 7 you gave Swamiji, why not the 8th, 9th, 10th? Why do you confuse always? In the 7 Bhagavan when he listed, this itself is a question for the faith. This itself is a test for the faith. When he gave 7, among those 7, any 1 or 2 or 3 you often reach out now. Why are you asking about the non-said 8th, 9th? That is a sign of not having faith. That is a sign of getting sold out to your own mind. Mind always tries to make you escape from these things. Among its thousands of traits, one trait is, ये क्यों बोला, ये 8वां क्यों नहीं बोला, 9वां क्यों नहीं बोला. I gave you example yesterday. यहाँ पेड़ का एग्जाम्पल नहीं दिए. ऐसे बहुत सारे नहीं दिए, बट कोई लोग पेड़ में भी भगवान का पूजा कर रहे हैं. Some of the things as if not mentioned, but they do it. Bhagwan in his flow, he said 7. उद्धव जी को काफी है. Anybody at the उद्धव जी, they are enough. Bhagwan did not say एक ही देकर यही करो. He gave vast details, variety of 7 things he gave. Isn't it? वायु में नहीं कहा भगवान ने. ये वायु लिंगम है भगवान शिव जी का. That's how, remember one of the things in life always. The meaning of surrender to the Guru is what? Whatever he says, without saying alternative, you do it. You know? And why we have to do it? Not to please him. It's all only to quieten our mind's vagaries. Like, why rishis are 7? Sapta rishi. Why not 8? Such any nonsense question. Why Vyasa divided the Veda into 4? Why not 5? Now, any answer is given to the stupid fellow, he will again have the question. And okay, inke karan, let us say all the Vedas are mixed and made 5. Do you think this stupid will keep quiet again? Why 5? Why not 6? He says. You understand it? Why rishis are 7? Okay, aapke vaste 10 bana diye. Why 10? Why not 11? Because the question is inside, the disease is inside. And the only way to avoid this endless disease is rishis are 7, full stop. Okay, then any of the rishi you invoke, you already belong to one of the rishis parampara. Unka krupa bhava upasana se, he will bless you, you get the wisdom, get out of the samsara. It is so simple. Now, in this way, when we listen for years together, then only slowly in our intellect, the understanding starts coming as to how we are getting trapped by our own mind. By the krupa of the Guru, when the buddhi starts functioning, then first thing we understand is how our own mind is trapping us. The moment we understand the mind and senses are trapping, then only the first thing which was told by the Guru thousands of lives back, we will be able to understand and accept that the biggest enemy for us is our own mind and our own senses. Therefore, if at all we have to trust and distrust anybody, it is the entire universe you can trust, but not your own mind and senses. This truth, which is told 1,000 lives back, will be understood only after 1,000 lives, when through Guru Upasana, Guru Kripa, in the intellect, these type of subtle understandings come, not otherwise. So, Shraddha, Bhakti is explained. Now, then the 7 things are told to us. In that sloka, the second line, Dravyena Bhakti Yuktaha Archeto Swagurum Mam Amayaya. So, the important words to be explained here are, one is Dravyena. Second, again, Bhakti Yuktaha said, तो बता दिया और एक बार तो टच करेंगे. Then Swagurum Mam Amayaya. Is 4. Dravyena Swagarum Mam Amaya. इनको भी explain करके then the total shloka meaning we will see. In this way, एक दिन 2 या 3 या श्लोक देखते हुए we try not only to understand exactly what is said in the slokas literally, but what is the indicated things through them. If we can expand the subject, we'll try that also. Then Bhagavan will take up how to start. Purvam snanam prakurvitva. It looks to be such a silly thing, but mind you, my friends, this is the most important thing. In today's world, if you see how many useless fellows, because I took bath at night, सुबह उठने की नहाने की जरूरत नहीं है करके वैसे ही सड़े हुए बॉडी माइंड से they go to do the upasana puja. And other thing is what? Whether you know it or not. When I took up the job of telling you in detail all the Kriya Yoga Paddhati, I will mention it. So that later on nobody should tell me कि भगवान आपने नहाने को कहा ही नहीं, इसलिए मैं बिना नहाए इतने साल पूजा कर रहा हूँ. That nalaikpan should not be. Then from this point onwards, the puja upasana has to be done daily, first after taking snanam only. And what is the snanam? What is the importance of that? All that we are going to discuss. In this way, this 27th chapter having 55 slokas, which has all the steps of the upasana and yajna yaga, as well as the need of sustaining and developing the temple construction culture, all of that with whatever the details we have in our heart, with those details we'll explain. Whether it will take 10 days or 15 days, I am not worried. लेकिन सब्जेक्ट को हमें थरोली समझना है, क्योंकि इतने दिन इतने शास्त्र ऊपर ऊपर पढ़कर हमको उससे ज़्यादा फायदा नहीं हुआ. अब थोड़ा गंभीरता गहराई से विस्तार रूप से समझने से शायद थोड़ा हमको अकल खुलेगा. वी आल्सो गेट कमिटेड, convinced to do sadhana. इतना कहते हुए tomorrow when we come, the mam amaya dravyena bhakti yugena, these words we will see. Then the next steps what Bhagavan says we will see. Thank you. Sarvam Krishnarpanam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Now today in our Valmiki Ramayanam, Sundar Uttarakandam, we will see Bhagavan does Tyaga of Lakshmanji and Lakshmanji goes to the Urdhva Loka. Hari Om. In 2 minutes we will start.